All right, today we're going to try a really unique art technique that was inspired by the art of Jale. She's on YouTube and Instagram and all the socials, but she does this amazing form of art where she puts dots of paint on a canvas and then comes back through with a squeegee and pulls the dots down, and it creates this really unique abstract art that looks like people. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool on a rock. So let's try it. I'm going to start out by putting some dots of paint on this Santorini stone. I thought it was a really unique shape that would be good for this because it was long and kind of rectangular. So I'm going to put just dots of different colored paints. For some reason I was thinking of different skin tones and maybe different hair colors for the top set of dots, and then just a bunch of bright colors for kind of the next set of dots below it. I've watched a lot of her videos, and I think you can try all different things. She uses all different kinds of color combinations, and you could just kind of go with it. So this is a really kind of new technique. This falls in the category of things I had saved in Pinterest of off-the-wall art ideas to try on rocks. I have no idea how it's going to work, but we're going to try it anyway because I think it's such a cool concept in how her art comes out. I also just absolutely love how her art looks and how this technique of dragging the dots looks like people that are together. To me, that just screams kindness rock too, because, you know, we're all about bringing people together and kindness and, you know, connecting people no matter where you are in the world. Okay, so let's get this squeegee in here and see how we do. I got this at the dollar store, and I'm just gonna pull the paint down, and some of my dots at the top didn't quite go, so I'm taking another swipe, and this is not looking exactly like I thought. Then here I come for more swipes, and then that's when it starts to get a little messy because I've got extra lines from the squeegee from the leftover paint on it. So I'm going to wash this rock off and try again. Some of my observations were that my dots were too large for the size of my work area, and that the squeegee pulled all the paint off the rock, or a great deal of it, so it wasn't good coverage. My canvas is a lot smaller than hers. So let's try this again on a homemade stone with a lot more dots, and they're smaller, and we're going to pull the squeegee down and see how we do. Ay, ay, ay. So this time I pulled even more paint off, and it just didn't have good coverage. Part of this, I think, is because I used a lot of multi-surface paints in there, and they just didn't want to stick. They came all the way off. So I just started swiping it all around to see what I could do. Could I be creative, and maybe there's, you know, a side technique that comes out of this? And it got kind of messy, but I thought, you know what, let's try. And I put these curved swipes to kind of mimic arms around each other, and then I took my finger and just kind of tried to recreate some mushy dots at the top to mimic the heads of people, so that this would look like a group of people standing there. So I started to get a little disappointed with this because it doesn't look like her technique. My paint got very mushed together, and I got a little impatient and started doing a lot of extra swipes. So I started thinking maybe this technique doesn't really work that well on rocks. But I think I was able to salvage this one. I took a black PC1MR paint pen and wrote the word together and filled it in with some dragonfly glaze for sparkle, and that's what I got. So let's try this squeegee thing again on the Santorini. And I tried to save this one by adding some more pink to add some more color back in for the stuff that got pulled off, and then it just started getting smudgy again with weird lines, and I couldn't quite salvage it the way I had on the black rock. But have no fear, I have one more idea to try. I'm going to use this thin piece of plastic. I got to thinking that the squeegee pulled too hard and pulled too much paint off, so I thought a thinner piece of something might work better. So I took one swipe, and then I flipped it over and took one more swipe, and I think this is the closest it came to being like her art, and I was happy with this one. So I think the squeegee was just a bit too much. I then took a silicone tool and made those swipes to kind of create the arms around each other. And then I came back with a white paint pen and added stronger together and this was the final result. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So in that Dizzy Dot video with the bunny, it was all about letting go of mistakes, and I feel like this one was about persevering and trying new things until you come up with a result you like. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch, and let me know in the comments if this is a technique you might try. Keep spreading that kindness, and I'll see you next time. Take care.